Oh, oh, okay, okay. Are you doing the intro again this week?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the True Health Forever podcast, where we try to live the best life through the lens of
Holistic
holistic health.
elves. Whoa, that's a whole new customer segment right there. We over
You
here
didn't
rocking.
hear about the new holistic elves?
No,
No.
well, it is Christmas time.
Oh,
I see what you
all
did
on
there.
purpose.
It
All on
is
purpose.
about to be the holiday season. We are hoping that the elves, right, that are hard at work, that are traveling all around the world, delivering happiness to children all around the world. We hope that they are holistic and they are healthy.
We do. We do.
All right,
That's
you
what
can
I
continue.
meant
What is
by that.
it's a manifestation of how this whole episode is about to go today. I'll let you know that right now.
Oh, my name is Sinclair, aka
The
the Health Nerd, and I'm here, as usual,
Yes,
with my handsome,
we're gonna do this every time now.
chocolate,
Mm-hmm.
positive,
Ooh,
glowing,
glowing,
galactic husband, God, little G, here right now. Who are you?
Listen, I love it when you do the intro. This is what you feel like every time. I'm telling y'all, we're going to switch this whole thing up. But what's going on, y'all? Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game. I was feeling not too good. Now I don't know. See the words. Words feel good. The affirmations, the eye contact, the touching. But before this, I was telling Jay, I was like, yeah, my energy, my frequency is like, right? It's not high, it's not low, but it's just like a normal human being, like meh, right?
Meh.
Like meh. But yeah, feeling pretty good, feeling pretty godly, little G, and ready to get into the episode today. Now, I want to preface this, y'all, because we did promise y'all Queen Anne on this episode. Unfortunately, and I can take the L. I'll take the responsibility because it's my responsibility to host people, to bring people in. So no matter what it is, it always lands on me. Scheduling, she'll be here next week. All right. But you were ready ahead of time. You were ready a week before she got here. But come back next week. She's really gonna be here in person and talk to you about music, mind, and well-being.
From across the pond.
Yes, this is gonna be our first international guest. Yes, okay. First international. I had to double check because we did have a international artist on Black Wall Street, the board game masterpiece, also from London. Shout out to Chai Brand. But yeah, it's gonna be our first international guest. Happy about that. But we're gonna have her on next week. So this week gives us time to talk about a few things. One, I definitely want to talk about the process of freeing the queen and maybe just going through your own mental journey of what it was like to make that decision, and then maybe what your journey's like now that you're building out your brand, building out your business. Because we alluded to it, or we said it last week on the Great Resignation. But yeah, I would like some more time just really talking about your mentality for other people that may be thinking about making that decision as well. We can also talk a little bit about under construction, the concept that we started last year, and how we're going to kind of redo it, remix it again for this year. Then, of course, we'll end it with some general updates on how things are going. Queen, anything you want to sprinkle to that agenda for today's episode?
Sounds powerful.
Sounds powerful. All right. But when you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Queen, are you ready?
Are you ready for some podcast?
All right, we're out. Oh yes. Come on.
Hey,
Jamon Lee. Jamon. Oh, that movie just always reminds me of Chris Tucker in Rush Hour. Yeah. I asked my little sister the other day. I was like, "Have y'all seen Rush Hour?" Tyona said no, and then Sophia was like, "I don't know." I was like, "What?
You don't know?
Y'all haven't seen? This is a classic." And there was something that happened. I was like, oh, that was in rush hour. They're like, what's rush hour? I was like, oh Lord.
Did that make you
Am
feel
I
old?
Yes, Sinclair. It did. Things that you just assume people know because of your generation, because of how you grew up, that the younger kids just don't know. It's like, oh, I'm old now.
Yeah.
I'm in a different, I'm 2 generations removed.
They probably looked at each other like, what's
going on? Right? Like, what Prince? Like, what? You don't listen to Prince? You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff that your parents used to say. Anyway, Queen.
King.
Queen.
King. Is this the episode?
This is not. No, I'm not gonna punish people that much. But so you are now stepping fully into entrepreneurship. So for those that maybe don't know, for those who maybe this is their first episode listening, can you talk about what lane are you stepping into as an entrepreneur, and then maybe what are like 1 or 2 things that you had to really conquer to make this step, to make this decision?
Yeah. Lane I'm going into. So yes, I, as of Friday, as of less than 48 hours ago, am no longer working full time, the full time job that I was working. So I am.
Wait a minute! You're not gonna skip past that? Like you didn't just say that right there.
See what you did there. So yes, taking the dive into full-time entrepreneurship. Thank you, Jair. Full-time entrepreneurship. And so for me, that's going to be my primary lane that I'm jumping into is health coaching. That's something that I've been talking about for years. Finally kind of officially dove into a couple of months ago. Got my first couple of clients. We are on and popping. But yeah, really looking to take that full time and just get a whole Rolodex of people that I am helping live their best life. Whether that's losing weight, whether that's getting more energy, balancing those hormones. All of that stuff is what I'm really trying to be able to help folks do full time, because I just realized that, and this is like the journey that we've been going on. And if y'all don't know, like we don't just get on this podcast and talk about stuff and then like not live it. Right. Like this is really just an extension of our lives. So everything, it's been very interesting for me. When talking about like spiritual health and things like that, finding your passion and your purpose, like we've been doing that. You've watched us do that on this podcast for the past couple of years. If you've been listening, if not, go back. We're on, what is this, episode 86? This is
86.
Yeah. So we've been doing this for 86 episodes. So at some point, I learned that helping folks reach their health goals gave me a level of fulfillment that I really had never experienced before. Like and it started with like friends and family. That's how this whole business started. It started with like, hey, have you heard of intermittent fasting? I created this plan, here, test it out for me. And then like a couple months later, got a text from one of my friends like, oh, hey, by the way, like I'm still doing intermittent fasting and it's really working for me. Like, thank you for bringing this to me. And I was just like, oh, thanks. You're welcome. Like, oh, that felt good. I've helped a lot of people indirectly through the King and his coworkers and people that, he's very good at marketing me.
Yes, I am.
So it'll be like, oh, by the way, I just had somebody ask for your smoothie book, or hey, I have someone to test out a recipe. Like, okay, cool. Had someone come to him and come to me, when I finally followed up with them. Oh yeah, I lost like 25 pounds, using your smoothie ebook. Like that type of stuff makes me,
appreciate you, Jay.
Yes, feel very good. And not in a like I need credit for it or anything like that. It's just like, wow, I had a small part in helping somebody live their best life. Because imagine like because I think what I think about is, what can they now accomplish that they weren't able to before? Right? Whether it's like, for some people, it's that confidence of like, I'm not really in front of the camera, but maybe you get more confident, you lose some weight, you have that energy, and now you're able to do the things that you weren't able to do before or didn't feel comfortable doing before. So the fact that I had even just a small part in helping you do that just makes me feel like I'm doing something on this earth. Right. And not that I didn't feel that with, my full-time job, but it not to this level. It wasn't like I got to hear the difference that I'm making. So yeah, that was in a nutshell, kind of what I'm diving into. I don't remember like what the initial question was, but that's what I'm diving into. The other thing you asked was,
what are some things that you had to overcome, whether it's thought process, whether it's culture, tradition, like things that you had to overcome to make this leap? Because I feel like there are a lot of people that do want to make the leap, me included. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make that leap too. There's tons of people that we know that are trying to make that leap, but whether it's strategy, planning, self-doubt, family doubt, like self-sabotage, like there's tons of things that I think hold people back from making leaps in health, in business, in relationships. So for you in entrepreneurship, can you talk about what were those things that were holding you back?
Yeah. So the two things that I want to touch on are, one, the self-doubt and money. Because I think that those are the biggest things that held me back, whether physically or just as a superficial barrier. So the first thing is self-doubt. I think having dreams and aspirations is easy. Having them is easy, right?
Debatable, but yes, I will, for the sake of this argument, go ahead and let you have that.
Not everybody has them, but I mean, right, for the folks who have them, like it's not hard for you to dream, is it?
Gosh, no.
That's what I mean. No. Like for folks who dream and have aspirations, that part is not hard. The hard part is acting on them and actually making them come true. And I think that, like, yeah, so envisioning, right, me being a health coach, helping all of these people, that's not hard. I do that all the time. But to actually put it into action and to believe that I can do it has been probably the hardest part. Because it's once you have got kind of really comfortable in a full-time job, if it's not what you want to do, I'm speaking to that person, right? If you love your full-time job and you're fulfilled, I'm not necessarily, that wasn't me. Right. That's not you. Right. But if you have that full-time job that doesn't necessarily pour into the cup like you want it to, and it doesn't feed your soul as much, it can be, I don't know. It's like you get comfortable. And we've talked about this, I think maybe the last podcast, but you get comfortable doing something that you're not passionate about. Sure. Right? But that comfort is still there and you get good at it. Right? And it's like, okay, with not too much effort, right, I can do enough to get by and get this paycheck every 2 weeks. Thanks. Right? And it's like, again, if you're like me, like you do more than just get by, right? You excel.
You right? Become great.
You become great at doing something that you're not that passionate about. And that is at first a very comfortable place to be. Because again, you kind of just go through the motions. But after a while, that starts to tug on you. When you start to think about what can I be doing? Right? That's the first step, is you start to have the what ifs. Well, what if I could make this much money and like what I'm doing and be getting those texts and emails about, oh, thank you, I've done this, I've done that, and like, so that's kind of what started it, is, well, what if I could do this and really feel fulfilled and happy and wake up like, I get to help people get healthy today. Right? So that was the start of it. But again, there's still that doubt of like, but I am making a good amount of money here, and like I got my own office, and again, it's my paycheck is consistent, right? I don't have to work clockwork. Right, clockwork. I don't have to work harder to get more money or anything like that. It's like I just got to show up and do what I do and get this paycheck. That's a very hard mindset to leave to making the jump to entrepreneurship, where it's really based on your effort, and not even effort, execution, right? Of what you say you're going to do, that is going to bring the income in. That's a very different mindset shift. Right. And I think that part, being a high C, so in the DISC assessment, I'm a high C, which C stands for cautious. So like this was very difficult for me, because again, the cautious person is security is like the main thing, right? So to leave that secure place to go to the unknown of, okay, well, now I've got to really dig into what I'm going to do to get more clients so that I can make this be a living, like make a living off of this. Right. I think that was the biggest issue, or the biggest thing, barrier to overcome, is that doubt of like, but I can do this and I can make more money, right, doing that health coaching and, you know, building programs and building courses and things like that, that help people. That part, it's like, it's, again, it sounds good, but when it's like, oh, but what do I actually have to do to make that happen? That's the scary part. And I think the how I pictured this happening was that I would build up my health coaching clientele enough to where I could quit my job and there wouldn't be like a loss of money necessarily, where it's like, oh, I don't actually need this job, so here you go, I'm gonna go be a health coach now because I already have my list of clients. Like, that's how I pictured it being. But truthfully, for me at least, if that works, if that is a path that works for you and you can take, then go for it, because that is probably the path that it has the least amount of risk. But for me, what started to happen is that the amount of time and energy that that was demanding from my full-time job was not allowing me to have the time and energy I need to put into my passion, to put into health coaching, to put into like all of these other things that I want to do. So at some point, it's like one of these things has got to give. And so for me, like, giving up on my dreams was not an option. So it's like eventually I got to the point where it's like, okay, well, that means a full-time job has got to give. Like, it's got to make way for the things that I feel that I'm, you know, put on this planet to do. Because at the end of the day, I'd rather have tried and failed than to not have tried at all.
Right. So I had to take notes here because you were saying a lot of good stuff, and I didn't want to lose it, but I also didn't want to interrupt you. So I was just like, all right, Devon, take notes. I was trying to remember stuff. I was like, I forgot stuff. But a few things. One, you started off with saying that self-doubt was the number one thing that you had to kind of beat. In your head, do you think, you said something around like belief, and then you switched it. You're like, no, it's not the belief, it's the action. Which one do you think comes first? Do you think it's believing in your dream, believing in your ability, or is it acting on your dream, acting on your ability? In your opinion, or in your experience, which one came first, the belief or the action?
When you say belief,
because self-doubt means that you don't believe, right? In my opinion, I feel like if there's doubt, there is not belief, or there's not full faith. So if you're self-doubting, that means that you're not fully believing. So in your head, did believing that I can do this come first, or did first, let me take some action? I still have some doubt, but I'm gonna take steps and action towards it, and then that action led to you believing?
So to me, not to disagree with you, but I think you can believe in doubt at the same time. And because to me, it's like a spectrum. It's not a on and off switch, if that makes sense. Because there's parts of me that still have some doubt there, but I made the step, right? And I just do still believe that I can be successful. Otherwise, I would not have quit my job. But that doesn't mean there's not that little bit of doubt there. So that's why I think both can exist. But it's which one are you acting on at the time? Okay. If that makes sense. So I think for me, I feel like the belief at some point like came first, because I was saying I wanted to be the number one health coach, the Black health coach, before I actually took any steps towards it, like active steps of putting myself out there as a coach. So that's what makes me think the belief came first. But again, that doesn't mean that the doubt is gone, or like that the doubt, yeah, I don't know if I'm making sense, but
yeah, I got you. Again, I think we're going to maybe agree to disagree on this thing, because we just have different mindsets. I feel like, but if you believe, there is no room for doubt. If you like, I kind of believe, then yes, there's 100% definitely room for some doubt in there. But I feel like if you believe 100%, that's 100%. There's no doubt there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So, I'm just like, who
does that? Jamal. He believed he would have a child. He believed he would have a son. There was zero evidence of doubt there. Right? That's just one. I believe 100% that you can be an entrepreneur and that you're going to be the number one health coach. I believe that. There is no doubt there, or else I wouldn't have let you quit your job. Let's be real. So I feel like there is many people out there that have a 100 belief in some things and maybe like 90% belief in others, to where like there's room for doubt. Next kind of question that I liked what you said on, I could stay in my job now, right? And I'll make my set salary no matter what effort I'm putting in, really. Like I'm gonna make this, and maybe I'll get a 3%, maybe I'll get a 5% upgrade. But honestly, even that's not really due to effort. That's the cost of living increase that
they have to do that.
They're going to give you that almost regardless, right? But you said when you're an entrepreneur, the amount of work or the amount of execution, your level of execution now has a direct result, or it's in the equation calculus somewhere on how much money you can make. In my head, as an entrepreneur, that's more enticing because that's almost limitless.
Yeah.
Right? Like your jobs only going to pay you so much because they have to pay themselves. They need to pay their shareholders. They need to pay all these other employees. But if you own the business, if you can find a way to duplicate yourself, scale the business, and execute at a high level, you should be making way more than what you were making when you were working for someone else who was in charge of paying you.
Right.
Do you love you more than they loved you? Do you respect your talents more than they respect your talents? Right. So if you have the ability to, you're going to pay yourself more than some, I mean, for the most part, stranger is going to pay you to do the job. Right. So yes, I think there's a huge risk there, but where there is risk, I think there's also reward. So there's high levels of reward there for you too.
Yep.
Last thing, and then we can go into maybe your second point. And if you want to, I do want to see like what you need from me as your king, as your partner later on, and then what you need from yourself to be successful as a entrepreneur, right? So you can marinate. Thank you.
Marinate.
I was thinking of another word. What is it called? Percolate.
I
definitely fused those two. I was thinking percolate and then marinate, so that it turned into marinate. I told y'all this episode is gonna be full of made up words. But you talked about are you getting you got fulfillment when you were working with your health coaches, or when you were working with your health clients. Even when you weren't an official health coach and you were just giving folks, you got fulfillment. And you were saying some people get fulfillment from their jobs and other people don't. I think as humans, and let me know how you feel about this, I think as humans, we need fulfillment in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't think it matters necessarily where it comes from, but our body needs fulfillment. It needs happiness.
Yeah.
If you're not getting it from your job, if you're not getting it from your interactions, I think you're going to seek that fulfillment somewhere else.
Yes.
So that's why we may go to drugs, alcohol, bad relationships, movies, social media, entertainment. Like we can go to all these other things because we're not being fulfilled with maybe what we're doing in work, or we're not being fulfilled in what we're doing in our marriage. So we're looking for all these other sources, sports even, right? So I don't know if you want to sprinkle anything on the fulfillment and how that ties into holistic health, and then we can move on to the other things.
Yeah, I feel like it ties into, because I think there is a question that we all ask ourselves, whether physically asking yourself or whether asking yourself throughout just living your life and doing the things you're doing, which is, why am I here? Like literally, why am I here on this planet? I think that the reason why that is
why am I here, like in this particular
or
space?
Like, why am I literally here? And I feel like the reason why we have that question is because none of us had a choice for being here, right? You don't choose to be birthed, right? That's not a choice we have, but we were put on this earth. So the question is why.
That's interesting. Oh, we getting deep now. Oh, we get deep now. She said none of us chose
to be here
at
this time. Like, if you really had the choice, would you have chose to live in 2021 and be this old? And like, I don't know. Would you have been would you've chosen to be born on February 9th, 1993 in LA? Like, right. But regardless, we're here. So I feel like we are literally, and yeah, this is getting kind of deep, but we literally live our lives trying to figure out why, right? And so if we are not able to answer that with our life, so for a lot of people, that is their family, right? I'm here to make sure that all these other people, get food in their mouths or have a place, a roof over their head, right? For a lot of folks, maybe it's their family. For some folks, yeah, maybe it's their job, right? For some folks, again, I think when we don't have something that really fulfills us, like to your point, we look for it in other things rather than in ourselves or what we can do. We look for it with other things. And I think that's why people find like different communities that they're involved in. I think that's why not everybody. Some people I think maybe just enjoy it, but some people get so into sports, like it's just like, oh, I'm here to be a fan of whatever team.
I took a whole class on the psychology of one, what's it called, deviance, but then two, the psychology and sociology of sports. I'm not gonna be able to say anything interesting and cool in this moment now that I'm trying to talk about it, but it is like literally people study this, like how fans interact with people, the whole mob mentality, like all of that is also rooted in sports psychology, which is very interesting.
Right, because it gives you that sense of belonging to something. And again, if you belong to something, it gives you like a sense of purpose, a sense of why I'm here on this earth. So yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, we have two options: to either decide or to go out and search for why we're here, or let somebody else tell you.
So I don't want to fall too deep into this rabbit hole, but I have another question I need to ask you. So, because you said you can either decide, or I forgot what the second option you said was, but my question to you is, do you think there's a right answer, or do you think it's more important for you to believe you found the right answer when it comes to why am I here? Like, is there like a why am I here? A, B, C, D. No. And it's like, if you choose A, that's the right answer and you're going to live happy.
Red pill, blue pills.
Right. Or is it more like, why am I here? You choose A answer. Yeah. And then as long as you believe that that answer is 100% right or 75% right, then you're going to be good and you're going to be happy.
Yeah. I don't think there's one answer to that question. Okay. I think that any one person could be on the planet for multiple purposes. However, I do think that there is like, I do think you have to believe it. So I guess to answer your question, I think it's more you have to believe it, and it has to align with like your natural gifts. Because I think that if I decide that I wanted to be a motivational speaker, I mean, sure, I could do that, but at some point, like I don't know if my natural gifts are to speak in front of large crowds of people.
Depends on who you're talking to. I think you can become the motivational speaker for high C's. Where they want to see all graphs, they want to see stats, they want to know quotes. I want page numbers of where you're getting your sources.
The way your voice changed, graphs, numbers, went into like nerd voice.
Woo!
Page numbers.
Yep. But I feel like, literally that can be your lane.
True.
So I feel like belief comes.
I think that is the number one thing. Like if you believe that that's your purpose, then I think
make it happen.
Yeah, I think you'll be happy and you'll be fulfilled and you'll die happy.
If you believe and you execute at a high level, because I think you can't just believe your way to success. No disrespect to anybody out there, but I feel like you need to believe. Then you also need to create that plan, create that strategy, and execute at a high level, or be willing to get better over time at that belief.
Yes.
Okay. So let's see, what's our time looking like? Okay, we still got a little bit of time. If y'all got questions, feel free to put those inside of the comments. Let us know. Your second thing was money. Can you make money a quick one?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I feel like I kind of already touched on it, but just that again, when you have the full-time job and I pretty much already touched on it, but I'll just repeat the main points, which are you go from making the consistent paycheck and your quality of life as you continue to make money also like your expenses basically also start to add up, right? I'm making this amount of money, so let's move into a bit bigger place, or let's buy a condo, let's get this car, whatever it is, right? So now you have bills to pay, and now it becomes even more risky to leave the consistent money for possible money, if that makes sense. So I think at the end of the day, that's where a plan one needs to be in place, because I'm not necessarily a proponent of just like, let's just do it and see what happens. Because again, if you got family and livelihood that you're talking about, you want to make sure that you're still covered. Luckily we are at a time where we don't have kids right now, so we'll figure it out, right? But this might be a different situation if we had kids, right?
Yeah.
So this decision making process would happen a lot differently. So you have to really decide what's going to be the best for you. But for us, we have set some things in place so that even in the worst case scenario, we're still okay. And I think that that's important.
What's the worst case scenario?
I mean, the worst case scenario, like let's say I make $0 in for a couple months, like gotcha. We're still gonna be okay.
Gotcha.
Because to me that's hopefully that's worst case scenario. Because I'm gonna make some money.
Yes, I mean
I'm already making money. Yeah. I'm already making money. But yeah, I think that just set yourself up for success in terms of like, okay, in the best case scenario, this will happen, but what if it takes a little bit longer to get my grounding as an entrepreneur? Like, make sure you have those safeguards in place. So if you have a really expensive cost of living, like wherever you're living, then make sure that either your other partner can take up some of that slack, or that you downsize, which is what we're doing, right? That's one of the things that we're doing, is we are downsizing so that we don't have as many expenses to worry about as I take this leap.
All right. Beautiful. Okay. So now we want to get into some kind of semi-practical stuff, right? So we're going to start talking about, Queen, what you need from me as your partner in order to make sure that you are successful and comfortable, but then also what are some things that you need from yourself. And I think this should be a good conversation for anyone else out there who, again, is going to make that leap, whether you're making it by yourself, you're making it with your partner. But I think it's good to know what you need from your friends, from your families, and like actively communicate that to them, right? How can they help hold you accountable? How can they help check in and make sure your mental health is okay during this transition? Like, what is it that you truthfully need from the people that care about you while you're making this transition? But then be really honest with yourself and know, all right, Devon, what do I need from me? Right? This is the dream. This is the goal. I believe 100% that this is going to happen. But what's the path that's truthfully going to get me to this end result, and what is in my power and my control to complete that path, right? So, Queen, which one you want to start off with?
I'll start off with what I need from you as cool. My king.
You take my notes.
Take my notes. Like one, it's stuff that you already do and that you, I don't think, could stop doing if you tried, but is that belief. Like we just said, like you believe in me 100%. And I feel like sometimes I get to those points where I doubt myself. Facts. So I feel like having somebody around, right, to pour in that belief of like, no, you can do this. Like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. And these are the reasons, not just, fluff is cool. Like, oh yes, you can do it. Blah, blah, blah. Go team. That's cool. But I feel like
fluff is not my style.
I know.
I promise y'all. It's gotten me in trouble already because it's not my style.
But I feel like you can't do it because you are this, because you do this, because you are this person, because we are in this situation. You can do this. I feel like that is definitely one of the things that will be helpful, just because I feel like the natural ebb and flows of confidence and belief, again, they will come from me at least. Yeah. So I think that that's something that I would need from you. And that's something that you already do and are very good at. That's why I was able to make the leap in the first place. If it was just up to me, I'd still be there.
Just hating it too. Yes. Goodness.
So yeah, definitely that. And then I think the other thing is to how do I say this?
Uh-oh.
Not
choose your words wisely.
I know. Allow me to still do it my way, if that makes sense.
Debrief that for me.
So I feel like you paved the way for a lot of things. And I feel like I see you do something and, oh, well, he was successful. Let me also try that. And I feel like that is kind of how we operate too. Like you try something, it works because you're usually the initiator, and then I'll try it. But I think there may be some situations where that works for you because of you and because of you and your personality and your gifts. And it may not have the same results for me because that's not my natural way of doing things, if that makes sense.
So allow you to do it your way.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said not allow you to do it your way. That's literally what I wrote. So I'm glad.
That's not what I meant, if that's what I said.
Listen, this is why notes are important.
You'll be looking back like,
you said
you cannot.
Cool.
So yeah, like I think explore how to be an entrepreneur, but in a way that makes sense for me and my personality and my gifts and things like that. Yeah. And then also allow me my recharge moments, because I think that you're a robot who can just work all the time and get energy from that, but that's not me. I need my recharge moments. And I think being able to recharge without feeling guilty that like you're expecting me to do something at that moment is important, because I feel like it ruins the recharge if I'm thinking about your opinion of me doing my recharge.
Now,
here we go.
Define moments. Just I just want to have a clear definition on what a moment looks like to you. What a moment looks like
for you. It's
for me.
That was fun.
Oh gosh, this is a great one.
A moment, I mean, it's usually a set period of time. So like on Sunday, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get all my work done by 4:00, and then for the rest of the day, like I'm recharging, I'm chilling. Yeah, don't talk to me on Monday about what needs to be done, or put it on the list for Monday.
Oh yeah, we already, I think, and I don't know if you want to revamp these, but I feel like they should still work. We have our set TH4 business hours, so I feel like if you want to stick to those, we can stick to those. But yeah, I'm not tripping off that
for sure. But yeah, even just for my stress levels, like one of the things that I have found works for me is to get those like massages and facial not as much, but basically get a massage every now and then, just that time where I can like relax. I carry a lot of tension and stress in my upper back, and like especially lately, like I'm noticing like it actually like gives me aches and pains. So yeah, like allowing me like, okay, yes, I'm gonna go to massage. Like, oh, enjoy, queen.
Yeah, I'll massage you.
Here we go.
Well, we talked about scaling back. I'll massage you. I don't know how much massages cost. Was it $100?
It depends. The hour-long ones are like $75, like once a month.
Yeah, I'll massage you for free. I got you.
In that case, might be a little more picky on, or a little more like, okay, can you please do this and get in there? You know, because I feel like massages for fun, those are great. But I feel like I'm always doing that knowing, okay, I'm still going to go to some place who's actually going to work out my knots in my upper back.
Look, you know, when I give you those full body massages, I got the oil down, you veins down. I work. Come on now, you don't play. You know, there's levels to it.
Yes.
Like the massage you got for Wife's Appreciation Day.
That was wonderful.
That's the level I got you. I got you. $100, but for free. I got you.
Thank you. I'm still gonna get one as a celebration for me quitting my job. That's one thing that I still want to do. But after that, monthly, yeah, you could take that role.
Thanks.
That was my assignment from a therapist. So that's what I decided to do for myself. Ding.
Cool. So that's what you need from me. What do you need from yourself?
From myself, I need to give myself more than I would have given my full-time job, or than I gave my full-time job. Because yeah, like you said, like I love myself more. I value myself and my time more. So I should be acting accordingly. So yeah, I need to give it my all, the same dedication, more dedication than I even gave the full time. Because that only makes sense. It doesn't make sense for me to give less energy and less time and less dedication to myself. So I need to give myself my all. That's the main thing.
So I would say it's not even about giving yourself more. It's about giving your family more than you gave your job. It's not only about you. Right? Because literally the time that you're putting into your new 9 to 5 or 9 to 8, whatever the time is directly impacting me, directly impacting Kendry, who's coming not anytime soon, Delton Jr., like all the people that are coming, like it's gonna literally impact them.
Gotcha.
But second thing is, eventually you're gonna need to determine, are you gonna put in time to your business, to that company, or are you gonna put in time to your family? Right? So I feel like it can be like the more time that you put in now, the more time you'll have free for your family later on as well. So I just feel like for you, that may give you a little bit more charge. Like I'm literally doing this for Kendry. So Kendry can grow up seeing her mom work for herself, making millions of dollars, saving lives, and she would literally grow up seeing her mom be nothing but a boss her entire life.
I love it.
Right, cool. Anything else you want to? I talked about topics at the beginning, but I got lost in the conversation. I don't know what else we said we were going to talk about. Oh, under construction was one of them for sure. But anything else on your? I got it. So the cool thing about documenting, right, is I love being able to go back to old videos and see what seeds we planted, and then be able to understand what fruit we're eating today. Like we're literally eating fruit, metaphorically, metaphysically, from seeds that we planted 2 years ago, 3 years ago, right? So we watched Jair, I think you'll appreciate this. We watched Dreamcatchers episode 1, season 2, which isn't publicly out yet, but it's the Queen's episode, right? Where she's talking about what she wants to do. She's talking about her dreams. She's talking about dancing, health coaching, like all this type of stuff. And at that point, I asked her, it was like, well, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And this was last year. She was like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? So, in 5 years, I want to be a full-time health coach. In 5 years, I want to be doing choreography. In 5 years, and we were talking about this the other day, like we're literally in a time machine, because within 1 year, you were able to accomplish what you wanted to accomplish in 5 years, which I think is just beautiful and dope. So one, congratulations. Well done. But hopefully that's evidence for people out there, like, don't just believe, but document, like make a video, do a journal, tell a friend. That way, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, whenever your fruit comes to bear, like you can really sit in that moment and be like, yeah, I literally intentionally manifested this moment for myself and for my family years ago. Right? It's dope. Queen, Queen.
King.
Not yet. Are you good on that, or anything else you want to sprinkle on that?
No, I think sometimes you don't even. Yes, sometimes I feel like I always say no and then I talk.
Indeed.
I feel like sometimes you don't even. What?
Huh?
You don't even realize that, like, oh yeah, I just did what I said I was gonna do. Because I feel like you get into the motion of like of doing it once you put into action, right? You have the belief, then you put into action, and then you kind of just get into the motion of like, okay, well then you naturally take the next step. Like, okay, I've got one client, well, I need to get another one. All right, now I need to create a course now. Like you just kind of get going, and then you're like, oh yeah, I manifested this. Like this is exactly what I said I was gonna do like 2 years ago, well, however long ago. And that it's just kind of reassuring. It makes you feel good that like you're not just doing things, right? You're still, it's almost like once it becomes your belief and like your plan and it's ingrained in you, it's not even so much of like, oh, I said I was going to do this, so I need to do this. It's just there. You just do it. And then you kind of like go back, like you said, like that's why it's documented. So it's cool to go back and be like, oh, snap. Huh. I am doing exactly what I said I was gonna do.
I got something. So you remember we were watching Agents of Shield, and you might have been asleep at this point, but Enoch, Enoch,
my man /
Enoch.
robot Enoch.
Yes, I am Enoch. But he was protecting. And if you're in the middle of watching Agents of Shield, please skip the next minute of this so I don't ruin anything for you. But Gemma had the implant in her brain, and he kept defending the implant without knowing why he was doing it, and didn't even know he was doing it until it was already too late.
Someone would try to do it, and he'd be like, Gah!
Right. It was just reaction, right? But that's because he was programmed to do it. How are you programming your mind to behave? Right? What actions are you writing down? Thank you, Queen. I do this. What actions are you writing down? What are you watching? Who are you talking to? Who are you following? What conferences are you going to? What podcasts are you listening to? That's literally programming your brain to take actions based on your subconscious mind. You don't even know it, to where you look back and you're like, did I just do all that? How am I here?
Right.
Your programming got you here.
Yep.
Right. So whether you're in a bad situation right now, whether you're in a great situation, whether you're just living your best life 100%, understand that literally your programming got you to that level, and you can reprogram yourself, right? For good or for bad. So if you're like, dang, I'm really trying to make 2022 my year, beautiful. Time to download some new programming. Right, we're gonna talk about that in under construction. This was a very accidental segue, but this is literally what under construction does. It changes your habits, and it kind of reprograms your lifestyle to what your end goal is, right? So getting into under construction, I'm telling you, that segue was subconscious.
Well, on a track like so.
Huh?
That way. Follow on a track like this.
You're too cool for me. You're too cool, Sinclair. I'm sorry. You're just so
it's
hip.
Also a bite from CJ because he says it.
Yeah.
And he used to say it. Yes.
He used to say it for a reason. So under construction was a concept or idea that came up in podcast episode 20, I believe, the way back in the day, right? It came up as an idea live on the podcast.
Yeah.
We created a in-person under construction retreat last year. Daniel, Megan, Vern, Denzel, TC was there. It was a pretty dope thing in person in Tahoe. A lot of fun stuff. And we wrote down some goals. We wrote down some habits that we need to be doing each day. We each took personality tests. We took the 5 love language tests. Some people were surprised that the language had switched up. It was a really dope experience. But the whole point of it was see yourself as a castle, as a grand mansion, as a city, whatever it is. And you're constantly putting bricks in place, constantly hammering nails, constantly laying cement, doing all these things to build up your vision, to build up your dreams. And constantly you are under construction. So it was a good moment. 2 goals that I had written down that I got very close to both of them. One goal was to make $100,000 in sales for Play Black Wall Street. Didn't quite get to 100K. The year's not over yet, though. So just know I'm still manifesting. Things can still happen. But didn't quite get there, but got the most in sales we've ever had in Play Black Wall Street. Right? Snaps. Another thing we manifested out of was, I don't know if you remember, this was when we were stressing about Chicago, and we said in 3 months we had to make how much money? Remember,
45.
Yeah,
45,000.
I was like, all right, if we want to invest in Chicago, it was a little bit more than we wanted it to be. So it was like, okay, in order for us to really be able to afford Chicago and the lifestyle that we want in the next 3 months, Queen, we need to make this much money. And we was like, dang, that's the most money we've ever made in 3 months ever. Right. That's probably impossible. There's no way we can do it. We've gotten very close. 3 months, again, isn't over yet, but we're already 75% there.
Yep.
So it's so crazy how when you write down goals or when you put stuff into the environment, you will start to manifest those things, even if it seems impossible based on past experience and past behavior. you can still get it done. So that was one goal, make 100K, almost there. Give me another month or two. Second goal, which kind of came as a surprise, it was interesting that I wrote this down, was to weigh 195 pounds, which is light for me, right? At the time writing it, I was 213. I really don't drop below 200 too much ever. Today, I weigh 190.6 pounds. Listen, the six pack's looking
nice.
Hey, yeah, you heard the wife say it. So, so it's literally crazy because that wasn't a goal that I really thought I had middle of the year. Obviously, it was probably on my mind at the beginning of the year when I first wrote it down. But at some point, I'm pretty sure I gave up on that goal consciously.
But it was still there.
But the programming was still there, right? The subconscious movement was still there. And end of the year, I literally accomplished that goal.
Yeah, you have a good health coach.
Yes, I do have a great health coach. You know what I'm saying? On this food sensitivity cancellation. I don't know. I'm not going to use your words, but hey, she's my health coach. If y'all trying to get a health coach, go ahead and go to coaching@truehealthforever.com or email coaching@truehealthforever.com. Get yourself a health coach, y'all. Results. But yeah, I'm trying to do that again this year. Long story short. Not sure if you remember yours. I remember at least one of yours. One of yours was to get 5 health coaching clients, or 4 actually, 4 health coaching clients.
I couldn't remember the number, but I'm pretty sure it had to do with coaching clients and then kitchens on fire. Yes, chefs on Pollock.
It was both of those. Yeah. But yeah, this year I'm trying to do under construction again. Queen, let me know if you are in support, whether it's cool. Under construction is available on our website. If you go to truehealthforever.com, you go to shop, you can purchase last year's under construction template. Go ahead and download that, print it out, fill it out. Some good stuff in there. Very user. It's $2. If you could accomplish it's $2. Like I literally just made it $2 just so that there's some type of commitment, some type of skin in the game. But if you have goals, if you have dreams that you're trying to accomplish, are you willing to invest $2?
If you're not, you ain't about it.
Right. Come on now. Even if you think it won't work, $2 it might. And I just told you I got almost 2 of my goals done when one of them was $100,000 worth. So if you make one of your goals monetary, you already got to reinvest that and get it back. Anyway, truehealthforever.com. Go ahead and get it. Under construction 2020 workbook. Queen.
King.
Queen. King. Queen. King. She was in the falsetto earlier. You missed it. Anything else you want to talk about for under construction before we go briefly into updates?
No.
No? You're good?
I'm excited for this year's so that we can subconsciously accomplish all of our goals again.
Listen, because what I want to make sure we focus on, though, is last year there was 2 goals. 2 goals, Sinclair. 2 goals, Devon. I think it's easy for us to overwhelm ourselves and be like, okay, well, last year we were able to do this. So cool, let's have 5 goals, let's have 10 goals. But I feel like the more goals you have, the more chances you have at not achieving those goals. Right. So yes, I am very excited. I think it is going to be a little bit difficult for me to figure out what those 2 specific goals are going to be, because I think we have some good momentum going in a lot of different ways. So now it's a matter of, okay, where do you really want to accelerate though? Right? You got good momentum going all these ways, but now that the Queen's full time, you got a great TH4 team. Like, what can we really do to accelerate what we're doing at a higher level? So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also just like, there's so many things. I hope I pick the right 2. But yeah, it's gonna be good though. It's gonna be good. Queen.
King.
Updates. Quit playing with me. Updates for you. I know we kind of went over a lot of it, but anything that you want to highlight, anything that you think folks should be taking advantage of this week?
Nothing new is coming up. As he said, health coaching. We going into the new year.
Say it with your chest.
We going into the new year, y'all. And so, truthfully, if you're waiting I'm gonna wait till January 1st to start. I don't recommend it. I really don't, because it's very hard to do that after binging for all of the holiday season and whatever. My opinion, it's good to start the momentum now, build the momentum now, so that you already have the momentum built for next year. Yeah. So if you are trying to reach a health goal, again, whether it's weight loss, whether it's getting more energy, whatever it is, go or email coaching@truehealthforever.com so we can talk about how I can help you meet those goals. Because now really is the time. I don't recommend, again, starting until January 1st to start. It's very hard to start then, but it's very easy to just keep the momentum going if you've already got it built. So that's pretty much all I got.
Beautiful. And on my side, I've been hosting some IG lives on Play Black Wall Street and my personal account, kind of going over the Launch It curriculum, writing a best-selling book right now. I believe it is a best-selling book on how to start your business, and been having some good IG lives. Did one on the 7 steps to launch your business, did one on what's in your way, like what's stopping you from launching your business or from growing your business. And then last week we did one on branding. Right? What are the 12 questions you can ask yourself or ask your brand to kind of identify where your brand's going, and then what's the difference between branding and marketing? So this Tuesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we are hosting a branding workshop. We did 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. last time. Had a few people come, but most people that are signing up are not on PST.
Gotcha.
They're actually on the East Coast, so it seems early for me.
I'll be there.
Thanks, Quinn. Hey, it's your first week too as an entrepreneur. Yeah. Come on through, learn a little something. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it is on Eventbrite, or you can just go ahead and follow us on Instagram, and you'll get that information. I'm trying to think if it's on the website. It's not on the website. Go ahead and reach out to us. We'll get it to you, and or you can leave a comment below, and we'll leave the link right there for you.
Is it on True Health Forever or Play Black Wall Street?
Play Black Wall Street. It might be there. It's not. But
where's the live going?
Oh, the live is going to be on Zoom.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so it's going to be on Zoom. So you got to register for the event. Again, we'll drop the link to the Eventbrite in this YouTube episode. So just go ahead and go to the description, click the Eventbrite, and you'll be able to get there. We are also coaching businesses, right? So this Launch It book has given me in my coaching bag. It's been able to really allow me to reflect on the mistakes that we've made, the mistakes that I've made, and figure out, okay, if someone else is going this same path, what are some of the warning, right? Pull over here, speed trap, all those things that Waze and Google Maps are saying to you. How can I give that to you in a book for starting your business and avoid spending some money, avoid spending some extra time on something that you don't need to do. So if you are interested in starting your own business or growing your business and you need some support, you need some coaching, go ahead and hit me up at coaching@playblackwallstreet.com. We'll go ahead and get you a strategic plan moving forward. We'll go over the 7 steps to launch your business and create a personalized strategic plan for you. Go ahead and hit us up, coaching@playblackwallstreet.com. Appreciate you. Yes, Quinn.
I'm evidence that he knows what he's talking about. I was just able to quit my job based off of his first customer.
Boom.
And I built the confidence to be able to quit my full-time job off of what he told me. And we literally just walked through his Launch It program and like the steps, the 7 steps to launch for my health coaching business. So the man knows what he's talking about.
Oh yeah. Also helped out. I don't know if you remember Mark from Davis, but he's also starting his own company on like data, and he does like really dope stuff that I don't understand, but I understand business. So I was able to help him go through these 7 steps, and he got his first client last month as well. Right, doing his thing out there. And I think I've been able to help other folks informally before I was in this business coaching bag. So yeah, I'm looking forward to giving you some value, giving the queen some more value, giving myself more value, because as I coach people, I also learn from them and I learn from me, so now I'm able to apply it. A lot of dope stuff happening. 2022, y'all, it's gonna be crazy. Queen, you good?
I'm good. I'm great.
You're great. Galactic.
all that.
So as usual, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to the True Health Forever podcast, where we try to live our best life through the lens of holistic health. I'm your host, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game.
I'm Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd.
We hope y'all stay healthy. We hope y'all stay mentally wealthy. And of course, we hope y'all stay true.